Hi, Footsteps to Brilliance friends. I'm happy to be here with you today to share an introduction to Footsteps to Brilliance for the pre-K and kinder learner. In today's workshop, we're going to cover three topics: how Footsteps to Brilliance supports the literacy development of pre-K and kinder learners, how you, your students, and their families will access the program, and how you and your families can get help when needed. Footsteps to Brilliance offers three early literacy programs that support the unique needs of your developing readers and writers. The Red Clever Kids University Pre-Reader program offers structured daily lessons that cover all the domains of kinder readiness, including early foundations in reading, writing, math, science, and social emotional development. The Orange Clever Kids University I Can Read program is the next step in your students' literacy development and offers structured weekly units that include systematic phonics instruction with foundational skill building, comprehension, vocabulary, and writing. In this video, we are focusing on our first and flagship app, the Footsteps to Brilliance School Edition program. This program supports reading and writing development for children pre-K through third grade with digital books, games, and writing activities. The program includes both English and Spanish literacy components. So let's dive in and take a deeper look at how you can use this program to support your earliest learners. An important aspect of Footsteps to Brilliance is that the program is designed to overcome common hurdles to early language development. The first way that the program addresses this is through the availability of English and Spanish literacy resources. The app easily toggles between the two languages, supporting development in both. An added benefit of this is that as families use the program with their children at home, they'll have access to a large library of resources in both languages. The program is also organized into three levels: red, yellow, and blue, that address English and Spanish reading and writing standards. The red level covers pre-K through kinder, the yellow level covers first and second grade, and the blue level covers second to third grade standards. Our focus is looking at how the program supports key foundational literacy concepts for the pre-K and kinder learner. In the red level, you'll find resources that address vocabulary development, phonemic awareness, early phonics and letter sound recognition, concepts of print, blending and decoding, listening, speaking, reading comprehension, and writing. One of the things you'll notice about our digital books are that they have several features that assist students with acquiring literacy skills, like listening for comprehension, vocabulary, and oral language development. Here's a brief overview of these features so that you'll recognize them when you're in the program. The speaker button is available on each page to read or sing the book aloud. Words are highlighted as they're read aloud. Touching a word on the page will read or sing that word aloud for the student to repeat. This is great for students who are trying to read independently and need individual word support, or if they want to touch a word and repeat it as they go along. The microphone allows the student to record and listen to themselves for immediate feedback. This is great for oral language development. And for our pre-K students, this is a wonderful feature for encouraging speaking, as they can talk about what they see on the page and describe what they've just heard. In some books, the illustrations are animated and will present vocabulary words or come to life to help conceptualize the story. This enhances the level of engagement, and students have fun exploring each page of the book. You'll also notice the English and Spanish button that easily toggles the program to the desired language. In addition to the book features, I also want to point out that some of our book series are organized into book units. Book units are designed to move the students across the domains of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. They begin by reading to learn, then demonstrating their comprehension in the Book Buddies star, They then move to applying their knowledge in games related to topics and vocabulary of the story, and finally creating an authentic writing product connected to their reading in the Create a Book Star. Encourage students to follow the stars each time they engage with one of our book units to really help them get deeper into the content and to become creators of their own stories. So now it's time to see it in action, and I'm going to demonstrate how you'll log in, and then we'll tour the red level of the Footsteps to Brilliance app. Okay, so here I am. I have come to myf2b.com, and I'm going to log in as a teacher with a username and password that I received from my district or my school. This would have come in an email titled Welcome to Footsteps to Brilliance. Students log in with the orange super secret code button. The super secret codes for your students are found in the class roster, and I will show you how to access that as we tour the system. They'll enter a 4-character code and it will open up the program for them. I'm going to hit this blue arrow and come back so that I can enter in as a teacher into the program. So here I am on my landing page after logging in, and I can access any of the 3 programs that I described earlier, or I can go into teacher resources, report dashboards, class management, and lesson plans. Today we're going to go into the Footsteps to Brilliance School Edition program. This is our mascot Sherlock, and he is getting ready to go and launching the program for us. Here are our 3 levels that I described earlier, our red, yellow, and blue level. We're going to stay focused on the red level today and how this is going to support your pre-K and kinder learning standards. The first shelf is the My Library shelf. These circles represent series of books, and as you click into them, you'll notice that it launches all of the titles, all of the book units that are available in that series. I'm in the Super Sound series, and this is a series that teaches the letter sounds of the English language. And when toggled to Spanish by clicking this button up here in the upper right-hand corner, it will also teach them Spanish phonics and the Spanish alphabet. Okay, now I'm going to come out of Super Sounds and I'm going to switch back to English, and I'm going to point out a few more resources here, and then I'm going to actually go into a book unit so you can see how it works, into a game, and then into a writing activity. Here on the My Library shelf, we also have a full library of traditional nursery rhymes. These are fun book units that kids can sing along to and then do activities afterwards to reinforce the language and the skills that they're learning in those books. This is our traditional Spanish songbooks. Just as it says, these are traditional songbooks in Spanish that have been translated in English. When we do any of our translations in the program, we do a trans adaptation of that so that it makes sense grammatically in the given language. Also has that cultural context that we're looking for as well. So this is a trans adaptation translation, if you will, into English from the original Spanish. Our academic language program for students is a wide range of books that address Tier 1 and Tier 2 vocabulary development across a wide range of themes, including early math. So not only will students be practicing early literacy skills in here and getting exposure to vocabulary, but you'll notice that we have shapes and colors and math books in here that are going to help reinforce some of those early math skills that we need our students to practice and develop. We now come to our Mega Mouth Decoder series. This is a series of books and songbooks that teach the sounds of the English language. While you can toggle to Spanish for these, you'll notice that they'll be practicing the English sounds. So for our students that need English language development, this is a great resource. It's in addition to the Super Sound library that I showed you earlier. And when they come into these books, they'll be learning the sound of the English alphabet. You'll notice I'm hitting the red arrow to tab over. I also want to point out that we have some cute books in My First Footsteps about feelings, family animals, animals large and small, and our community members, people that we might meet around the community. These are really fun for social emotional development, as well as getting to know the world around you. And last but not least, in our learning lyrics, we have some fun counting books. These are song books that students can sing and dance to. Of course, Hickory Dickory Dock for time, Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes for parts of the body, and get to know 7 days of the week and months of the year with these fun song books. Okay, so that covers the series of books that we have in the red level. And now let's look at our games. In the game level, we have games that focus on letters and sounds, word work on our sight words that we need our kids to learn, those very early sight words, and logic and reasoning. Click into the circle and you'll see the games available. Rhyme Slime is a wonderful rhyming game. We're going to go into that and I'll show that to you. Classy classification is initial sound recognition. And then you'll notice that we have letter recognition in capital and lowercase, and letter sound recognition in capital and lowercase with these two sets of games. In word work, students will be practicing sight words, and we have a bunch of different ways that they'll be doing that. Also in our word wall, you'll notice that we have wonderful games related to blending and decoding. So for our kindergarten students, this is going to be a great set of games for them. Of course, if you have a pre-K student that's ready for that, by all means, you're welcome to have them play that game as well. And last but not least, on our writing shelf, students will be able to create their own books and create a book. They'll be able to draw pictures, letters, and numbers on our doodle pad and electronic whiteboard, and they'll be able to practice writing and the strokes of our capital and lowercase letters in better big letters and better little letters. All right, that is the grand tour of what's available in the red level. Now let's go look at how one of our book units work. I am going to go into our Super Sound books, and I'm going to start with the letter A book. And this will give you an idea of how we want students to be working from the stars from left to right, beginning with reading the book. Let's go and look at that. Here we have our title page. You'll notice it has the speaker button right here, so it will read the page aloud to us.
Super Sounds A. Written by Dr. Virginia Elizondo. Illustrated by Eddie Delaney.
Okay, great. So I'm going to tab through using the purple arrows. And you'll notice for teachers, we have readability measures here. If you want to see the readability measures for all of our books, check out our teacher toolkit and you'll find the guide there that will give you readability measures for every single title that we have in the program. All right, so I come to the first page of my book and I'm going to click on the megaphone, the speaker here, to have that read aloud. And this is a wonderful pattern to demonstrate for your students so that when they come into a book and are working independently, they know the steps to take to really engage and read the book with full fidelity. So we're going to first click on the microphone right here and listen to the page read aloud.
Do you know which sound the letter A makes? Listen for the ah sound in words.
Okay, and you'll notice that it also tracked the words as it read along, highlighting them in red. Now, remember I mentioned that you can touch the words. So if students want to try reading independently or repeating after the words, they can touch them,
Do,
listen, and then speak the word,
you,
you, and so on.
know.
Okay, so for our really early learners, this is a great tool for getting them speaking and getting some experience with the language. Now they can also record themselves by clicking the microphone button, clicking the red record, And as it records, and when they're done, they'll be able to listen to it. This is meant for immediate feedback so that they can either describe what they see on the page or actually read along to their narration. So this is great for oral language development. Now, remember I mentioned our pictures are animated, and in different book series, they're going to do different things. So you'll notice that there'll be a little finger here, and they can click on that and they'll hear and see some action on the page.
A.
And Sherlock is going to do a little dance for us here. Okay. And then last but not least, you'll notice that we have our English and Spanish toggle button here. This is wonderful for kids who need primary language support in either language, and they can easily click that button and it changes it to Spanish. So now let's listen to the narration in Spanish.
¿Sabes qué sonido hace la letra A? Escucha el sonido de la A en estas palabras.
All right, and the same features exist for being able to touch the words.
Sabes. Letra A.
Okay. They can record themselves, and of course, now they're going to hear the Spanish sound.
A.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to toggle back to English and we'll continue through this book. Now the students are going to be given a word picture that starts with the letter focused for that book.
Alligator starts with A. Alligator.
Great, and again, they can touch the words.
Alligator.
Okay.
Alligator. A.
All right, and now they're going to have a chance to identify where they're going to hear that sound in the word. So we give them the A for the ant right here.
Where do you hear A in ant? At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end?
Okay, so they can take a guess at where they think they're hearing the A sound, and when they're ready, they can click Sherlock and he'll reveal the answer.
At the beginning.
Let's go ahead and toggle to Spanish so you can see an example of that in Spanish.
¿Dónde está la A en abuelo? ¿Al principio o al final? Al principio.
Okay. They're going to get another example to try, and then they're going to come to the end of the book where they'll be presented with the stars to continue through the book unit. The next star in this book unit is letter links. And this is a fun game where they're going to be identifying the letter sound and where they hear that letter sound in words. The first level is just identifying that letter sound, and it gets a little more difficult as they go along. So for our very early readers in pre-K, this may be the level that's right for them. And then for our kindergarten students, as they get a little more adept at identifying letter sound, position in a word, they may move up to level 2 or 3. You can tailor this to your students however you like.
Which letter makes this sound? Drag it to the box. A.
All right, if they need to hear it again, they can touch this picture for more support.
A.
And they can also touch the letters before selecting an answer.
H. N. A.
Okay, so I think this is the letter that makes the A sound. So I'm going to
A.
drag it down.
Fantastic.
A.
Okay, again, they can touch
A.
for support.
B. C.
Now, what if they make a mistake? What happens?
C.
Don't give up.
Okay, it's going to give them another opportunity, and if they need to, they can even listen to the question again or touch for the sound that they're listening for.
A. A.
Wow. Great job.
A.
Okay.
A.
Wow. Good job.
Great job! I knew you could do it!
Okay, so you'll notice in our games that there's lots of celebration, lots of positive feedback for the students. We want them to learn from the games, and we also want to make it engaging. So you're going to notice that there is a lot of celebration as they move through this program. I have completed all 3 levels, and so I have a surprise waiting for me.
Amazing! You mastered letter links.
and I get my treasure chest. Okay, now that I've completed letter links, it's moving me on to the next star, which are more games related to the letter sound for that book. This is letter factory, where they're going to be identifying the letter as it
Find the
moves
letter
along the
that makes
conveyor.
this sound.
Ah.
Okay, so I don't think it's this one or this one. I think it's this. Now, what happens if I make a mistake?
Not quite. Try again. You are a star.
Okay, so that's letter factory. And here in letter trace, they're going to be given an opportunity.
Connect the dots to write the letter A. The letter A makes this sound.
Ah.
Okay, so they're going to learn the letter strokes as they go along as well.
Fantastic.
Okay, now notice as they move to the next level, there are fewer dots.
You are a star.
A common question that we get here is, does this work on a touchpad? And the answer is yes. They can use an iPad or some other tablet or even a smartphone with this program, and they can trace with their fingers as well if they have that available to them. Okay, so now here I am, and I have finished my games, and I'm going to move on to create a book. This is a wonderful feature for students to begin publishing their own books. It is a simplified digital writer that gets kids used to creating their own stories, but also using some common word processing features that they might see when they move up in the grades. You'll notice we have a toolbox here that we're going to be using to put illustrations and pictures onto our pages. You'll also notice a word bank where I can touch the picture and hear the word.
Airplane.
And then when clicking this word, it will put the word on the page for me. You're also going to notice that I have drawing tools so I can draw my own pictures. And for this book, I am given backgrounds. The pictures that I read in the book, or that I was using to learn the letter sound in the book, in English and in Spanish, as well as the letters of the alphabet. So now your kids can each create their own alphabet book. Let's start by making the letter A book. Okay, now I'm going to place a background in here. I'm going to add a picture. I'm going to stick with an ant right now, and I want to place this word on my page. If I want to type in here, I'm welcome to type in here as well. And if I want to add a letter on my page for that, I can do it. I can size this any way I wish, and I can even move the ant in front by clicking this. Take some time to explore create a book and explore how you can connect this to what you're doing in the classroom, and try writing a couple of books together with your students and then let them try doing it on their own. We have found that when you demonstrate create a book to your students in whole group, much like I'm doing now, where you share your screen and you allow them to help you pick the pictures and what words they want on the page, they can do this much better independently. So as much as you can model this is really going to help your students create a wonderful product for you. And the good news is that when you go into your data dashboards, you're going to have a wonderful e-portfolio of everything that your students have created in Create a Book and DoodlePad. Okay, so now you've seen how one of our book units works, and I encourage you to go into some of these other series to see how the book unit might connect with what you're teaching in the classroom. I promised you I would show you a game, so I'm going to go in and we're going to do the rhyme slang game because we know that kids love to play this game. You'll see the word families here, so they can pick any word family. Maybe you're focusing on a particular word family for a week, and so you might encourage them to play that particular set of games. I'm going to go ahead and go into the at word family. And get ready.
Slime the word that rhymes with this word, mat.
Okay, so I now need to pick the word that rhymes with mat.
Mat.
And I can touch this for more support. I can always listen to the question again. And I can even touch the pictures before I decide which word I'm going to slime.
Bat. Pan. Pet.
Okay, and I'm going to decide to slime the word bat. I think
Bat.
that's the one that rhymes.
Rat.
Kids love this. This is so fun. They love to see the slime come out. Again, doing this in whole group to demonstrate what to do makes it so much easier for them to work well independently and to make sure that they're using the program with fidelity when they're doing it on their own.
Mat. Bat.
Now, of course, kids can make a mistake on here. We want them to learn from the mistakes that they make. So if they do that,
Can.
Oops, try again.
it's going to give them some positive reinforcement until they get it right.
Cat. Splat.
Okay.
Splat.
I think rat
Rat.
is the word.
Rat.
And you can see here I'm getting stars and how many tries as I go along. And the nice thing of this is that we're actually keeping track of this as the student uses the game. And when you go to your dashboard reports, you're going to be able to see how the student did and see their proficiency in the different skill areas for the games that they're playing. So this is going to be a wonderful resource for you to be able to see how kids are performing on the skills that you want them to develop. And last but not least, splat.
Splat.
Wow, good job.
Okay, now you'll notice the celebration here. If a student did not get enough correct, they'll be given an opportunity to replay the game. So we love that growth mindset as we created our games. We want kids to have fun, but we also want them to learn from it. And if they don't get it quite right the first time, they're going to have an opportunity to learn from that and come back and play the game again. It's wonderful with the immediate reinforcement and the immediate feedback, whether they're getting it right or wrong.
Mat.
This is level 2. It gets a little bit more difficult. You'll notice that the word support is gone and they'll work their way through the game the same way that I just showed you. Okay. So that is one of our skill games in letters and sounds. I encourage you to check out Classy Classification for initial sound and our letter recognition and letter sound recognition games, because I think you'll find they'll be very valuable as you pick a letter focus for the week that you want your students to work on. All right, in word work, they are going to be practicing sight words, and this is a blending game. Let's go ahead and look at our CVC word ball game here. You'll notice I have a flag here, so I have already mastered this particular castle. So now I'm going to go into the orange castle.
Put the sounds in the correct order to spell this word. Can.
All right, if they want to hear it again, they can touch the audio button.
Can. K. Ah.
All right, and they can make a decision about what sounds they want to put in which
Ah.
position.
Can. Mom.
Now, what if they get it incorrect?
Oops, try again.
You'll notice the positive reinforcement is still there.
Mom.
Okay.
Gum.
And this is tracking their data so that you can see this in dashboards. All right. Now, last but not least, in logic and reasoning, we have more games around sequencing, colors, patterns, capital letter patterns, and lowercase letter patterns. So as your students develop in these skill areas, or if you're focusing on this, say sequencing for the week, this is going to be a great way for them to come in and get some extra practice on the particular skill that you're working on. Okay, now we're just about ready to finish up our tour here. We're going to look at my writing. You have already seen an example of Create a Book as I showed it to you in the Super Sounds book unit, so I don't need to show you that again. The features are the same, but I do want to point out my doodle pad. My doodle pad is where kids can come in and make pictures, draw letters, draw numbers, and again, it goes into their e-portfolio. So when you go into dashboards, you're going to be able to see everything that your students have created on the doodle pad. Here are just a few examples of some doodles that have been created by students using it. You'll notice somebody drew a house with a cloud. They wrote some numbers. Here we are drawing some flowers. You'll notice that in this one, they wrote the letter F and a picture of a word that starts with the letter F. There is a wide range of ways that you can use the doodle pad to extend your learning and to get our very earliest writers writing. Let's go ahead and look at what you do when you're in it. So here, they're going to have an opportunity to draw on this electronic whiteboard, selecting any color of crayon they want and the size that they want that crayon to be.
Dark green, blue,
It gives them the name of the crayon, which helps with color recognition as well. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write my name. This is a great activity. We know that in pre-K and kinder, we want them to be able to write their name. And wouldn't it be wonderful if you had them do this at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year to see their progress in writing their
red,
numbers. Now you have a real authentic assessment of their progress in writing their name. I'm going to make a heart. Okay, now this works with a touchpad, so kids can be using their finger on a tablet or a smart device if they happen to have one, or if that's what you use with your classroom. When I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and save that. I can now come back in and edit it, print it, or email it. And of course, you as a teacher are going to be able to see this in your reports. Okay. And you'll notice that we have the tracing also available here in our capital and lowercase, better big letters and better little letters. They will come in, they will pick the letter that they want to practice. Maybe you'll give them an assignment to practice one of the letters. They'll click on it and they'll be presented with the
this is the capital letter
instructions.
B. Connect the dots in order to write the capital letter B.
Okay, so just like you saw me do in the Super Sounds book, this is available here as well. So if you want to be out of order and you're going to be teaching the letters in a particular order based on your curriculum, you can have them come in and practice this way, whatever makes sense for you and your class. That completes the tour of the red level. I encourage you to now log in at the end of this video and explore for yourself and see what kind of connections you can find and how you might be able to support what you're doing in the classroom with the things that you find in Footsteps to Brilliance. To get back to my landing page, I'm going to click on Teacher Resources right here. And it's going to bring me back right here. Now I have the opportunity to go into any of the other apps, go into my reports, into class management, or into my lesson plans. I do want to show you at this time how you will find your student super secret codes. I'm going to click on class management. Each of you who are a teacher with students on your roster will see your class and you will see all of your students listed here in class management. You'll notice that you see their super secret code right here. You can very easily communicate that to your kids by either printing student cards, printing letters that can be sent home to families, or even adding parents and creating an account for them that will send an automatic email in the parent list tab. We have full instructions on how to do this in our help site. So I encourage you to go to our help site by clicking our little Sherlock link right here, clicking on help and searching on how to do any of these items that I just shared with you. Now I want to go back to the curriculum so I can pick which app I want to go into. And it brings me right back to the home page of Footsteps to Brilliance. Okay, I have a few more items that we're gonna talk about right now, and then we'll be wrapping up this video. You've been a great audience so far. Thank you so much. Okay, there's a few more things that are really important about Footsteps to Brilliance that you need to know. And remember, I talked about how we take literacy and language development very seriously, and we wanted to remove some of the common obstacles that families have to accessing and working on literacy with their children at home. The second thing in that is equitable access to literacy is really important. And it was important for us to create a way for every child to have access to literacy resources. Because most families own a smart device of some type, Footsteps to Brilliance was developed so that it was supported on any device the family might own or that might be checked out to them through your program, through their school or their district. The user experience of the program is the same regardless of which platform the program is being used on. And so this really levels the playing field for children of all backgrounds because they now have a whole library of books, skill building games, and writing activities at their fingertips anytime and anywhere they might be. The next priority in creating an equitable program is the ability for it to work offline. So our program is designed to work whether or not a student has an internet connection. So let's talk a little bit about how they need to prepare the program to work offline. First of all, they will need an internet connection to get started. So they might need to be in an area with Wi-Fi, say around the school building or an area in their community where they can get some free Wi-Fi, or even at home if they happen to have it available at home. They will download the app from the App Store and download the books and games that they want to be able to play. Anytime they want to update the app, they will need to be online. But once the app is set up on the classroom or the home device, the students can work offline and play anytime without internet. Every once in a while, please remind your families to come into an area of Wi-Fi and open up the app on their device so that the data can upload, and then you'll be able to see what the student has been doing on the program while they were working offline. They don't need to log in, they just need to open up the app in an area when their phone or device is connected to Wi-Fi, and all of the data will automatically upload and you'll see it in your dashboards. So every once in a while, just remind your families, please make sure you go into an area of Wi-Fi, open up the app so I can see what your kids have been doing on the program. There are two different ways to access the Footsteps to Brilliance program. Parents and children can access it from any computer browser that has internet access, or they can download it to any smart device from any app store that you see listed here. Again, after downloading the app and the content, they'll be able to access it anywhere, anytime, with or without internet or Wi-Fi access. This is really a unique feature of the program, and it's important that regardless of how or where you access it, the experience is the same. So they're going to be able to see the program the same way wherever they may be logged in. Lastly, schools and districts that use Clever or ClassLink can log into Footsteps to Brilliance through these services, and you'll want to check with your school or district for more information about this. So if you are using Clever or if you're using ClassLink, you may already have the app available through there. It will log you in and log your students in, and it will be very easy for them to access it that way. Please contact your school or district for more information about this. Now, I promised I would share with you how you and your families can get help and training on Footsteps to Brilliance. We've created 24/7 bilingual help for families and you at help.myf2b.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at this to see how you can do this and use this with your families. I'm going to go back to my Footsteps to Brilliance, and you'll notice here that I have a help button in the left navigation bar. This is going to open up the help website for me. I also want to point out that over here on the right, when you're using a browser, you can click the Need Help button and it will take you to the same location. Okay, so I'm going to click this button right now, and you'll notice it opened up our Footsteps to Brilliance knowledge base, and I'm ready to put my question in that I might have. Your question as a teacher might be, how do I share my super secret codes with my students? You type that in and it will bring up the articles related to that, and you'll be able to learn how to do that. You'll notice that right at the top, we have our parent university resources in English and Spanish. And I want to point out that we have 2 videos right at the top that are going to be most helpful for your families as they get started. The first one is, how do I get started with the apps? We have that in English and Spanish. Just click on that. It will bring up the video for you. You can even copy the link and put it in your virtual classroom if you like, but just play the video. It's about 4 minutes or so, and it's going to give your families all the information that they need to get started with the app, where to find it, how to download it, how to prepare it on their device, etc. And it will take a lot of that explanation and training off of your shoulders and kind of do that work for you. So again, if you want to put a direct link to this resource in your virtual classroom, copy it and paste it right here. Okay. The second video that would be helpful for your families is, how do I use the game boards? Teachers, you are being trained on the learning pathway game boards that we have that align to your curriculum. And this is going to show your families how to use those and how to get started with them on the program. So again, this is another wonderful training resource in English or Spanish for your families so that you don't have to do all the explanation. It's kind of there for you. All right, now we're going to jump back into our presentation. And last but not least, I want to point out that you have access to some wonderful report dashboards. And every time your kids read a book or play a skill game on the program, it's going to be recording that, and it's going to tell you what they've been doing. But more importantly, it is going to share for you how they're doing on the program. You'll be able to track your daily attendance and time spent on the program, see what activities they're completing, and view their scores and proficiency. So to view the teacher tutorial on how to use the dashboards, we're going to come back into the program. This time I'm going to click out of help, and you're going to be brought right back here to our curriculum page. I'm going to click on teacher resources. And I want to leave the site. It's going to bring me to my landing page. And this time I'm going to click on report dashboards. It's going to load the report dashboards in a new tab. Notice that I still have my tab for the curriculum right here with the welcome tab and the pink star. So if I click on that, it's going to bring me back to my landing page. And to get back into the dashboards, I'm going to click on the tab that it opened. You'll also notice that you can click your name right here. And if you want to get to curriculum or class management, you can also click these links. Okay, your next assignment is to watch the teacher tutorial. It's a video that's about 5 minutes long. When you click on this link, it opens it. Go ahead and watch it, and it is going to give you a wealth of information that you will find in your dashboards. So it's all here waiting for you, and I've now given your assignment to go ahead and watch the teacher tutorial right here on the report dashboard landing page. Okay, you have been wonderful today. I want to remind you that we are here to help. Come to help.myf2b.com or click the link in the program with any question that you might have. And don't forget to let your parents know about that. You also have access to bilingual email support at support@footsteps2brilliance.com. Don't hesitate to reach out to us with any questions that you have. Thank you for watching today. We are proud to be your partner in helping your students become reading and writing stars. We'll see you on our next video, and happy teaching.